Greetings and welcome to SmartWatchTix.com. Got something interesting. It's yet another one of these Apple look-alike Series 8 Ultra smartwatches, but this one got a couple of things going for it, which is why I brought it in. It's a whole different company, Zordai, and it uses its own tethering app. So that's new from what we've already been seeing reviewing these. It's hard to make a decision which one you want to invest in, especially when they run from $30 to $100 or so. But this will give you some insight. Inside of here now, it's called, by the way, the ZD8. Officially, in China, it's the Z8, and it's made by Zordai, and we've got the watch module itself, a card with some information about it, the QR code for scanning. The app is in the Google Play Store, and of course, I'll have a link in the show notes for you to download it. Now, this one is so new, I've got it here. I don't even have an actual buying source for you, but I have some basic information. Should run around $30, less with a discount coupon. I will have a link for you in the show notes. Called the ZD8 Ultra Max from Zordai, all right? And in terms of specs, we've got this sheet. It's a nice 2.08-inch HD screen with IP68 waterproofing on it. You've got breath training, stopwatch, brightness adjustment, sports mode, heart rate, all the things you see here. You got a tiny bit of memory in it to hold a watch face or two. You've got dual Bluetooth 5.0 for both tethering to the app and Bluetooth calling. We've got a 420 by 485 screen resolution, IPS full color view, and it's definitely a glass screen on it. What else can I say? 380 milliamp hour battery, 5 to 6 days of normal use. You got a month of standby and wireless charging. So really, all in all, it's a pretty decent watch. Lots of languages supported. You notice I got a couple of extra bands that were shipped along with it, and here's a black set. So we normally see these in the bright orange, but now we've got a portfolio of different color bands. They're all the same size that we can play with. Comes with a charging dock, as we've seen before. Peel these things off. There's a concave side to it. This is the floor side. This is the one you actually set the watch module on to charge it. And we've got our own tiny itty-bitty little manual here. User manual for the Zordai Z8 Ultra Max. That's their official name. We will, hopefully, you'll be able to read this if we freeze frame it. Just in case, I'll come in a little bit closer for you. And we kind of page through these quickly, just in case you need to check something out in the manual. And a lot of times you can't find these things online as a PDF. So sometimes your only recourse is to come back here and check the review. But I don't really break it down for you. Like I said, we just freeze frame it in case you need to go through it in detail. The other side, Chinese, of course. Let's put it together. The bands are easy, very easy to slide in. And I can take the plastic wrapper off here for you. It just slides right off. And we've got a little cover that's over the screen. And it's actually a fairly thick film. It's not the screen protector, of course. It's got their own logo on it. When you look at it, we've got the typical speaker, the button, the nice orange one in the little hole here and here. We've been looking for those. On this side, same thing, a hole on that end and that end. Button, looks like microphone, and the little twirly knob. The bottom's got all of the different sensors and things in it. And of course, you got to check to see if you've got a film over here to take off always. Even on your Apple Watch, if you got $800 to buy one of these puppies. Press on the side, starts it out, and welcome to 2023. Just to let you know, everything you saw in the review up to this point was filmed before Christmas in 2022, and here we are, well into 2023. I've been wearing this puppy for a long time now as I shut the studio down in between, but I learned a lot of stuff, and I'm going to show you that stuff right here before we get into the full-on review. You notice it came on, it dimmed a little bit, and it timed out. What we're talking about now is the ways you can modify the overall screen for always-on capability. Check this out. I've got screen on and off. I've got an option to turn screen off this way and leave it in an always-on mode with two different styles, one digital, one analog. I'm going to switch. Well, let's just use style 1 first of all. Here we go. I'm back to a watch face, and this one in particular is chosen because it, in its actual display, is one of the two ambient mode ones. Here's the other one. This is the analog one. If I tap it to bring it back, I can rotate over and show you. There it is. Now if it times out from its full bright mode, and of course you can adjust the brightness, it goes into the ambient mode. That's not always on. It's always on for a while. After a while, with no activity, it'll turn off and be completely black. But it's here. So tap it. I can bring it back up again. Or I could do all kinds of things, of course. I'm going to come back over into this area. I'm going to show you that when screen off is in style 2, and you bail out of here, back to the watch face, give it a moment. It's actually set for the timeout to be 5 seconds, so we can move right quickly through this. You see now it timed out and it went into that digital display that we had. So I can tap it. I can come back over to that digital display. We'll go slower through those later. Here it is. When it times out, it'll flip back into that. So if you like these two faces and you want to constantly have time on your hands lit up most of the time, not 100% always, but really close, and when it's in the ambient mode, it's dimmed down like this, so you can get medium-length battery life out of it. This watch will do it, and do it nicely. You can have the twist your wrist to light it up, activate it, and it'll light up, of course. I do not have that, because I like to just tap it to bring it back. There it is, in the actual watch face, in full brightness. But one more thing to show you, the last part, there it flipped to ambient again. If instead now, and we're going to run this review in this mode, in screen time off, I come over here and I change it not to 10, 20, 30, 50 seconds. 30 is the maximum, but keep bright. Folks, they're not lying about that. That is keep bright always. So no matter what watch face you have it on, let's say this one, it's going to stay always on. Yeah, whatever you're doing on the watch, it will always be on. It's not going to turn off. And the beautiful thing about that is if you want a watch that will always be on in exactly what you're doing, not some ambient, low-powered something or other screen, this one will do it. Does it take a hit on battery life? Oh, you betcha. I ran it with this one. In this mode, fully charged, I got a whopping 4 days, 4 hours? Yeah, 4 hours. I got 4 hours of life out of it before I had to charge the battery. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Totally agree. But if I want this thing to go show off, to go out to dinner, to do something for about a 4-hour period, and I'm willing to take that compromise in battery, this is the one. The only one so far I've found, not just in this Ultra design, but the only one that I've ever found that really, when it says always on, really means it's always on. So you got all these different watch faces. If I instead turn it so it's only 5 seconds, no ambient mode, no always on setup, nothing, and just wear it and rarely turn it on, tap to turn it on, I can get, what did I get? I got, let's see, worn overnight with heart rate, and I got 12 hours out of it. Yeah, 6:30 p.m. to 6:30 a.m. I still had almost 30%, you see that, left. So I can't get a full day even at the best power savings on it, but I can get over 12 hours, so you could run it all day, just tapping it to light it up if you wanted to. And of course, it's got Bluetooth connection to the phone going on as well. Let's get into the full review. So when you swipe down, of course, you get into all kinds of things. The information on this watch, Zordai, and the QR code for getting into it, and all the other necessary information you need. This is for NFC. It has the NFC ability, but really you need to be in China to be able to activate it, accept the agreements, and start your financial transactions. You've got a flashlight mode, it vibrated. You can turn it on, turn it off right from the screen, and of course leave it at any time you want to. You've got the activation for Siri or your Google trigger word right here. But guess what, guys? Check this out. Double tap will do it too. Take you right there. Yep. So you don't even have to deal with that. Like I told you, I've had 2 weeks to play with this one. Here's our overall brightness. There it is, nice and dim. That's what it's normally at when you're in those screensaver ambient mode display options. And you can get it as full bright as this. Probably for our review, let's run it at that level so the colors and things aren't washed out. You got weather forecast, centigrade or Fahrenheit in your area. That's all it's showing. I don't have forecast information here. And we've got a synchronizing with the QR code in the app for doing QR code stuff. So if you have your own QR codes for your social media and you've loaded them up, this is where you would be able to access those things and share with them. You've got your synchronization for your phone calling availability there, and then you've got your overall settings. Now, settings, we've got language. Here's our different languages supported. There's a few, not a huge list, but a few more than normal. There you go. Hopefully you saw yours on here. We do have a broad international audience, which is great. We've got dial switch. We've been changing all of them. I think there was one more I didn't show you. If you want just a nighttime digital or analog one like this, that's available. You also have, beyond dial switch, our screen off. Now, one other thing here is this bedside lamp. If you turn that on and you put it on the charger, you'll see, well, let me show you. So here's the charger. It's plugged in, so simply setting the watch on the unit will allow it to go into the charging mode and show you the time. And of course, it's got the gravity sensor, so if you switch it horizontally, you'll see it will switch to the horizontal time as well. And that's all coming from that particular setting here of the screen off bedside lamp. Now, if you don't have that on and you have it on the charger, and you have this on the always on, always times maximum screen, the watch face will be, or whatever you have your watch on, that's what will be lit up. So you can apply power and have the watch itself actually constantly on if you want to use whatever your choice of watch face is as a night light, for example. Screen off, we showed you we have the digital and analog styles, and we can turn that on or off. When you're in this always on mode, you don't need that on because it will never be activated because the screen will never go off to activate it. Pretty tricky, huh? And then screen time, we've already talked about that. And that keep bright is just such a winning feature for those who want to use a watch that way. I got vibration intensity. There are different levels. This is a little longer, a little stronger. That's just a little kind of a feel to it. Power savings mode. Close or open. I haven't noticed much difference in this. Well, all right. It changes the brightness for one. And it probably disconnects us from Bluetooth. But you got that power savings mode. And then you got your mode selection. This is weird too. Watch mode, smart mode. I haven't seen a difference in that either. It works as a watch and it works as a smartwatch no matter which one I'm in. If any of you get this one, can figure that out, let us know in the show notes what the difference is. You can change your ringtones, your phone ring, and you've got default or you've got different ones. Oh, I got to actually, there it is. Okay. You can actually hear it now from the speaker to get an idea of how loud the speaker is. You hear that? So getting almost like a phone, different types of sounds for different things. These are just your, oh, okay. And then alarm clock kind of sounds too. We won't go through all of them, but those are here. You can do a password on this one that you actually set and need to change, and that's because you have NFC that could be used for financial purposes. Whenever you have that, you have to be able to lock the watch. And then, of course, factory reset the whole thing back to basics again. And that was here. We got 2 dots, which means we got a second page. Here's a do not disturb capability on here. We've got find your phone, which it's ringing my phone, which is in silent right now. Oh, no, there it is. Okay, it's ringing. How do I stop it? There, okay. Well, that threw me off. There we are. We've got alarms you can set directly from here. We've also, I have to unfortunately go back each and every time. We have this thing, which is no record. I'm not sure what that one is. Sorry, folks. You got the password lock and unlock capability there. And then you've got the power savings mode that we already saw. That's supported as well. This is that watch mode, smart mode switcher. And you have SOS, where you can set up a particular contact that'll be your emergency call number when it's programmed. Otherwise, it looks like you get the dial pad and then you can place the call. But you have to be Bluetooth to your phone and have your phone with you in order to use that. And this one, you can't hear it, but if you're holding it, you can feel it. It's vibrating to drain water from the speaker if you've been swimming with the watch. Shake the watch to speed up the discharge of water droplets. Yeah, I guess you could say it's waterproof. What do you think? And that's everything here and all of this. When you slide to the right now, you get all kinds of information. Date, time, your inbox for any messages that you've got. It'll show you the first part. Bluetooth calling lets you open it up so you could start making a phone call when you pair it to your watch for calling. You got that capability. Then you've got your most recently used apps that'll show up here as well. Little pull-out tab. Swiping up gets you into everything. We'll go into that in a moment. But to the left will get you into your daily step count, calories burned, distance traveled, and when and how much of each of those you did in the specific hours of the day. All here in that first tab. Come over again, you got heart rate, and it's using 3 green diodes out of the, looks like 5 or 6 that are back here. And of course, it has to be properly fitted to you. It's doing continuous heart rate as well. Here's that weather forecast, or weather current temperature, no forecast shown there. Last night's sleep time broken down into hours and minutes of deep sleep, light sleep, the past 7 days worth. And I did a complete wipe of it a couple of days ago, which is why I don't have a continuous record on it. But it will accumulate that. And of course, music player that will play the music from the watch that's on your phone when you activate that too. So this is probably a good time to play with the speaker on the watch and let you hear how it sounds. I got some music queued up on the phone. We're paired, and all I got to do is hit play. There you go. You hear that? I can mute it easily. Just put my thumb over it and it silences it instantly. Nice to do while you're wearing the watch. So those are all here. And then coming up, we get into phone messages and contacts for placing phone calls. We have a variety of different ways of displaying it. I like this one because I can go right back, to my watch face that way. Calls, contacts, data, your different sporting activities are all listed here, and you've got quite a few of them. And of course, you could activate those by pressing, oh no, we've got a different thing. The Apple Watch, I believe, activates these from here, but this shows you all of your previously used apps. And of course, you can go down and clear all of them out. Unfortunately, you got to go all the way to the bottom and wipe them out and clear up memory, just like you would, say, on an Android phone. That's pretty cool. So that's our button related to sports. Heart rate, ECG. Let me tell you right now, ECG is a fake thing on here. It is not real. For ECG, you use electrodes, and you have to have 2 of them, and you have to put, the energy across your heart, and this doesn't do that at all. It's using the green diodes and just giving you the heart rate exactly like this one would, but just with a prettier graphic that looks like a heart rate going. If I cover the sensor down here, well, you'll see it there. It's covering it. It takes it a few moments before it starts, and then it's giving you a simulated chart, which is just a moving graph. There we go. And then you're getting a number, but that number is honestly coming just from the diodes. It doesn't have anything to do with electricity. Likewise, on the app, you cannot transfer anything that you read from the ECG on the watch to the app. It doesn't do that. Whereas heart rate, blood pressure, and blood oxygen values do go over there. Here's blood pressure. It's using green diodes. Again, take the results with a grain of salt. It hasn't been verified for accuracy. And this uses the same green diodes for blood oxygen, which is not the highest, most accurate form of measurement. So honestly, for your biometrics, this watch could be improved significantly. You may want to use a different, more sports-oriented smartwatch for getting your health data. Nonetheless, you do have the NFC we mentioned if you are in China to do for financials, and you may be able to use it to pass business card or unlock locks, things like that. Music player, last night's sleep time. You do have a stopwatch in here, but it's not running per se in the background. You can't leave it directly. You can pause it when you leave it, and you come back into it. It resets automatically, so it doesn't run in the background. Weather, the My QR code, that was a symbol we saw before, and that's where you install your own QR codes if you're into doing that. GPS now, that's what that no record is. This is to tie in with your phone's GPS when you're doing a workout. Theoretically, you could show the track here on the watch, not against a map per se, as I understand it. Have not gotten that to work really. Here's where you can set the time, date, and format manually if you want to. There's your voice assistant. Again, double tapping will bring that up when you're tethered for doing that. Alarms, flashlight. There's the Alipay from the NFC, right? Your emergency SOS. You've got an onboard calculator with this one. Find your phone. This is that breathe in, breathe out calming routine. We always do a quick check on this one. Let's see if it vibrates as well as visual, and it is. There was vibration when the circle is increasing and no vibration when it's going down. So you could turn this on, wear it, close your eyes, and still be able to regulate your breath with it. That's great. You have a massager. When you put it here and activate it, it vibrates, and you can feel the vibration. It's at a higher vibrational level, like compared with the one for draining the water that was the best I can spell it. Sorry, my English on those sounds is a little off. Lady assistant. Yes, that's the guy that goes and opens the door for you to get in the car. Used to call him a boyfriend, but now they're just actually assistants. This one's in her safety period. That's great. When you're in the app, you can set all that up, ladies. You got the menu style, and this is the one we're using here. You have a circular, the bubble kind, linear, whatever you'd like. Those are available. Countdown timers. A couple of games are in here. There's a puzzle game, making the face of the tiger come together. And there's a whack-a-mole game, and you guys have played that before too. So we've got games, we've got air pressure in your area, so it reads barometric air pressure as well, and of course your overall settings, which we already took a look at, and that's where we found out all that neat stuff about being able to put this in the always on mode. Let's take a look at the tethering app then for this one, because it's really new. You'll find the Zordai app in the show notes down below. You can click on, head straight over to the Google Play Store. Here's what it looks like in the Play Store when you open it and you set it all up and you register and you pair the watch together. You'll land in this opening page here. And this is going to show you all of the information related to the band. It shows you I am connected over here, and I can sync the data, or it'll automatically sync in the background when you are connected. Come back to the health screen, and there you go with the number of steps, distance traveled, calories burned. Come into this, you'll see the historical track for each hour of the day. And check this out now. This is today. I can go back. Now, yesterday, the day before. Now, here's where I reset the watch. So there's some off time from that particular day. But here we go back further. Like I said, I use this watch a whole lot. Yeah. Got a lot of data all across the board in it. So that's the step count. Your sport record now is where you could do exercises using the phone tied to the watch. I haven't done those, but you can set up a walk, a run, cycling. Anything that would use GPS should tie into the GPS as well. And then you could use that recording capability back and forth to the watch. Last night's sleep time. Now, this is kind of funky. Here it shows it to you in color, but as you move through it, and you touch it, it fades almost completely out, and I don't understand why. There, I've got the highlight on that one, maybe so you can see the particular item that you're highlighting and what its time frame is, but they really softened the other part out. Nonetheless, you've got awake time, REM sleep time, light sleep, and deep sleep, and you've got that for every night that you've been wearing it. And it's different, of course, every night. There's what your totals are when you're wide awake, when you're asleep. There is when the watch is totally reset and I didn't have any sleep time that night. Here we go, a different night. And it just goes on and on and on. So good at overall capturing the data. I can come back and look at the week. That's the current week. There's the previous week, and so forth. And of course, month and year are available as well, and that's all in sleep. Now we get into heart rate. Heart rate is a continuous heart rate. When you have that option switched on, and you have to go here into the settings to do that, it'll show you some maximum, minimum, and what I really like is resting heart rate at night as well. Here's some more heart rate. There's when I didn't have the watch at all. There's up until that point, about a day and a half it was off. Here's some sporadic times when I took it off and when I wasn't wearing it at night. I tried all kinds of different combinations. And there you go again with some high, some low, overall data. Weekly, it's giving you a span like that. Monthly, it's showing you like that. Yeah, a lot of data. Now, we get into blood pressure and blood oxygen. These guys are not continuous. They are incremental. You have to initiate them from the watch, and they'll only show you a couple of spots. So I took a couple of readings today, systolic, diastolic. It shows you the actual value when you touch on the screen, even close to it, it looks like. And your mean diastolic blood pressure and mean systolic, which mean, I believe, is the middle one from your high, all of your highs to lows. It's that middle value, which is different than average. So it's throwing out any of the erroneous stuff by kind of, it's sort of how they do housing prices in the housing market. You don't factor in the multi-million-dollar houses with the run-of-the-mill house. You kind of look for the median, what was the middle one. So this is nice. I don't see that often. Median, systolic, diastolic. So you take it throughout the day. That's your middle reading calculated. Make sense? Okay. Blood oxygen. Here we go. Got a reading there, 97, a range of 96 to 98. Again, I wish these were continuous, but they're not, and they probably are doing that on purpose so that when you take them, you'll stay still and you'll have more accuracy. The ones that just do it no matter what you're doing with your movement are probably more inaccurate because blood pressure and blood oxygen readings in particular really require you to be still. Here's the menstrual cycle stuff if you have this turned on for the ladies. If you're registered as a female, you'll get this kind of information. You can set up your cycle length and when you started it, and it shows you where you are. And as you saw on the watch, it'll actually tell you where you're predicted to be in your cycle directly on the watch itself, too. And those are all the cards that go along with the health section. Your sports section, again here, you can have outdoor run, indoor run. This is where GPS would come in. You have these different activities you can do. About the watch, this is what you've got. You can select a variety of different watch faces, custom faces. And that bright white one I showed you is one that I've put in. But we've got all kinds of different ones. Analog, digital, a good selection. As in most of these watches, you can download one and install that or choose from any of the other stock faces. If you want a different one, you have to download it and install it, and it wipes out the one you put in already. This one looks interesting. Looks like you've got hot buttons for a lot of different actions you could take right from the watch face. So, yeah, really, really extensive list with this new app, the Zordai app that we haven't played with before. They've definitely done their homework in terms of creating extensive compilation of watch faces. That's really, really nice. Remote camera. Here's where you turn on for incoming calls that you can tie in with your phone to receive calls. And, of course, you set all that up Bluetooth. SMS the same way. App notifications, you choose whatever app you want in your phone or multiple ones to send pushes to your watch. You'll read them on the watch. You got your heart rate monitor. This is where you turn it on. You can set an actual time frame window that you wanted. If you wanted only at night to compute your resting heart rate, you could do that. 0 to 0 is 24 hours a day, as you saw. And you can set the frequency from 10 minutes to every 60 minutes. And to save that up there. And then ECG detection never works, no matter what I do. If I take it on the watch, I don't get any data on here. You don't get an ECG chart. This is perhaps being put in the app for when they do a real ECG with actual electrodes, and you would be able to get a chart. I hope that's what's happening, and it's a placeholder right now, but it's not active or effective with this watch. We don't have any data transfer at all. Here's where you can set up your own QR codes for these different things and use them if appropriate. Your frequent contacts, alarms, Bluetooth call. This is where it tells you how to go into your phone to tether it so that you can get that call connection. Find your watch. Here's the twist your wrist to see the time. You can activate that from here. And then anytime you twist your wrist, yeah, it'll light up. And if it's got a long timeout, then it'll go that long timeout, I guess, before it'll go off on you. NFC, again, has the module in here, but all you could do with these things, exchanging email address or business card, the do not disturb, sedentary, all these timers are in here. And then, of course, you can check the firmware on the watch. And finally, you have an About You, where you set up who you are, your personal information, height, weight, and everything. Log out if you want to. Delete your whole account if you decide you want to. Your goal settings of step and sleep. Your unit settings of metric, imperial, Fahrenheit, or centigrade. Your map selections for 2 different kinds of maps for when you're doing that with the tracking. You can check for updates about the app, and you can tie it into Google Fit if you'd like. And that's the overall app review. So looking at it on, it's really nice and attractive. This is using this special type of a band. It's got 2 different couplers in here that it goes in between. And they are movable, actually. And easy to remove the clasp and just pull it out. And they slide in, typical Apple Watch style. You press and slide it to remove it. Really simple to do. And then you can take the other one. And same kind of thing. You just pop it on, and here's what it looks like. There's the orange one with the integrated orange buttons, the black body. Really sweet. Now, this one's a little further down than the other one was because I popped it out of the hole and moved it on my other one. So I have a little bit of a tail sticking out over here. Again, the buttons, the left one is where you're going to clear out all of your last open applications. The top one simply toggles it on and off. And, of course, you can turn it to change watch faces. The bottom one takes you back and forth to your exercise activities, or if you're deep into something, will take you back all the way out to the overall watch face. Let's look at the next band. Here we are, integrated black with a body, everything matching nicely. That's probably the one I'll wear this particular version with, just because it goes together so nicely. So, where do you get this one? Once again, it's called the ZD8 Ultra Max Zordai smartwatch. You should be able to order it with all kinds of different bands individually or in groups of colors. There's magnetic strap type bands for it. This is what we've looked at today, the standard strap that goes with it. There's also alpine straps in different colors and some sport straps as well. Any of those will fit, of course, directly on the watch. And the last thing is, this is a link I've got from the company, and I'll have this in the show notes for you to order directly from AliExpress. And look at all the combinations. Just click on it. It'll give you the price. We'll have discount coupon, and you're good to go. All right, gang. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.